Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before I start building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all got about 45 minutes to an hour, man. That's about the time I have for y'all today. Got to finish off what I started yesterday evening, man. I was in vent mode and I had two clients come in, so I had to tend to that situation, man. But I still got some things to say revolving around what I was talking about yesterday evening. So hopefully y'all can tap back in so I can finish off my sentiments in regards to that subject matter. So what's the word, man? How y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Wednesday? Give everybody a chance to tune in, man, before I finish off that vent part 2 of what I was talking about yesterday, man. Tierra Peace, what's the word? Javon Peace, what's the word? How y'all living? How y'all feeling? Nick Peace, my brother, what's the word? How we living? How we feeling? Yeah, we in vent mode. We in vent mode. I might be in vent mode for the next few days, man. We in vent mode. Got some things I got to vent about. Y'all know how it goes. Sweet Tea, Peace Queen, what's happening? We too caught up in the materials, man. We too caught up in statuses, labels, all of that, man. I'm getting a little fed up with this whole situation. Getting fed up with the whole situation, so I got to talk about it. We allowing like I said yesterday, we allowing social media to dictate how we feel about ourselves, and that's causing anxiety and stress to be on an incline. People's stress levels and their anxiety levels are increasing rapidly because they are influenced by some of these no good influencers on social media that's telling them since they don't have X, Y, and Z, then they trash, then they worthless, then nobody wants them. They don't have any value, and they start accepting and believing in these things, and it causes them to feel that much worse about themselves. So a person that's already having a low self-esteem, they get their feelings confirmed by some trash person on social media who ain't even living in accordance to what it is that they spitting out here to the public. And that causes their depression to increase. And then you never know what's going to happen from that. You never know what's going to stem from that. Justin, peace, what's the word? Clocks in, peace, what's happening? Lindell, peace, what's the word? Chilling with the grandson. There you go. Legacy continues, man. There we go. So we getting too influenced out here, man, by these no good individuals. And y'all got to be mindful. Do the knowledge of some of these people. A lot of these people that's out here trying to so-called drop game on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I'm telling you, their lives are the total opposite of what they are out here instructing you to do. They are living the total opposite life. So don't feel too bad about yourself, man. When that person that's on YouTube telling you that you're worthless because you don't have A, B, C, and D, they don't have A, B, C, D, nor E. So they in the same boat. Mindset of an introvert. Peace, what's the word? Just peace, queen, what's happening? KDH, peace, what's the word? So these brothers and sisters be in the same boat. They got you feeling that much worse about yourself, got you ready to jump off a cliff whole while. They are living the exact life that you live. But you believe in it because you taking things off Facebook value. You taking things off YouTube value. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. We take things off face value, Facebook value, Instagram value, YouTube value. That's how you get deceived. That's how you get manipulated. Taking things off face value. Stop doing that. Things are not always what they appear to be. Things are not always what they may seem to be. So you got to stop doing that. Prodigal son, peace, peace, my brother. What's happening? Clocks in. A bunch of fake teachers out here, gurus and things like that. Once you get people to start referring, like, listen, you just got to do the knowledge to a lot of these people, man. A lot of these people, they tell on themselves when you watch them long enough, man. They start labeling themselves things that it's like, hold on. I done seen dudes start referring to themselves as grandmaster teachers and stuff like that. When you start referring to yourself in that light, now it's time for me to question your whole existence. Like, because what are you talking about? Again, if you are truly a valuable person, the people gonna let you know. The people gonna let other people know. I don't have to tell people how valuable I am. People are going to tell you how valuable you are. So I don't have to go out here and announce my value. I don't have to announce what I bring to the table. I didn't been in enough relationships to where people know what I bring to the table. I didn't dealt with enough people to where people know exactly what it is that I'm gonna bring to the table, what I'm gonna bring to the room, what I'm gonna bring to the crib. They know what I'm gonna bring. They know the type of energy that's coming when they see me come. They know the type of energy that I'm equipped with. I don't have to let you know that. I don't have to let you know that on a consistent basis. I don't have to do it. It's 90 Peach Queen, what's happening? Clutch Hutch, peace, what's going on? Nick, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. We allow society, man, because again, it's that social media smartphone era to where everything is like fast paced, and that makes one's anxiety. I'm telling you, this is why why it appears as if like anxiety levels are increasing. Like I remember back in the day, honestly, when I was growing up, mid to late 90s, man, I didn't know what anxiety was. We wasn't talking about anxiety. We wasn't talking about that a lot back in the day, like the mid to late 90s. I don't recall having conversations about anxiety. I don't recall anxiety being what it is today. And it's like you got to understand that the society and the era that we are in currently and what's happening, man. Everything is fast paced. You can go on this smartphone and I mean, you got access to everything. Just by it with this phone, with this little device, you got access to everything quick, fast. And that is why you see this anxiety situation becoming what it is, man. Because think about it. Think about it. Like I said, you watching these YouTube videos, you on Facebook, you listening to these people, they telling you that you need to have X, Y, and Z in order to be considered a high value person. And if you don't have it, then you low value, you're trash, you're worthless, whatever they saying. Boom, you got that. Then you have situations where like how easy it is to like invest your money. So then you get on Facebook and you just see people talking about crypto this, crypto that, invest in this, invest in that. Then you feel the need to open you up an account whole while you don't have no knowledge of what you're doing. But see, you see everybody talking about it online. So now you rushing and trying to invest your money. Then you end up making a mistake because you failed to do the knowledge before you jumped into the game. See, everything is fast. It's too easy to do everything. Like it don't take nothing for me to open up an account on my phone to start investing, and I can start investing tomorrow, and I have no knowledge of what I'm doing. It's too easy to do everything. It's way too easy to do everything. It's too easy to do everything. It's too easy to access everything, man. So it's causing a problem, and that's why anxiety is so high, man. You got access to too much to where you don't know what to do, man. There's just too much going on, man. People need to learn how to settle down. Listen, if investing is not your speed right now, don't rush and do it simply because you see everybody talking about it. If that's not your thing, if you don't have the time to thoroughly research it, man, you're going to generate your revenue. You're going to generate your wealth another way. Then when you generate your wealth, then you can sit back and learn more about investing. And then that's when you dive into it. But don't rush into it because you see everybody on Facebook talking about, oh, invest in this, invest in that. Listen, if you lack the knowledge of what they're talking about and you don't have the time to learn about it, don't just start opening up an investment account simply because everybody is saying doing it. That's how you make a mistake and you have no knowledge of the situation. So now you finna just be throwing your money in the thing simply because you saw somebody on Facebook say do that. That is how you lose your money. That's how you lose your money. So it's too much pressure because we have too much access to everything. And when we got this access, we got a lot of options. We think we got to invest in this. We think we got to start a business here. We think we got to quit the job tomorrow. We think we got to create this side hustle. Like it's too many options. Too many options. And that's causing that anxiety to skyrocket. Too many options. Clocks in exactly. Automatically. And they think they are above criticism and judgment. As soon as they post anything that makes any sense to where a lot of people start rocking with it, now it's like they are above criticism. They are above judgment. Instantly. Instantly. Oh, just for sure. I'm getting tired of it. That's why when people ask me, do you watch so and so and who, I don't watch anybody on YouTube for real. I'm gonna be honest with you. I be watching like old, like I watch documentaries or I watch like interviews or something like that, but I don't watch like one person. I can't stand it most of the time. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I tried to jump in the game to provide that type of balance, man. Because I used to watch a lot of people back in the day. Like 10 years ago, I used to watch all the people in the so-called conscious community. I used to watch all of them. Any one of them that had some knowledge, man, that I felt like was making some sense at the time, I was tapped in and tuned in, and I fell out with all of them. Now, if I watch anybody in regards to like a speech, it's some older speeches. Khalid Muhammad. I might watch Farrakhan, Steve Coakley, Amos Wilson. Like I'll watch things, Bobby Hemmett. I'll watch stuff like that. Malcolm X. Like I go back and watch things like that. Huey Newton, them, all of that good stuff. Marcus Garvey's, just some old joints. I'll watch that type of stuff. But these modern individuals, I don't do it. I don't do it, man. It's like this stuff is so mainstream and so watered down now, man. People pretty much just chasing a check. They just chasing the money, when at the end of the day, what you don't understand, when you study in business, they tell you, if you want to generate $1 million, they tell you, learn how to bring value to 1 million people. So I don't have to sell myself out for that. I can bring value in a way to where I don't have to sell myself out. But we have been misled here in the wilderness of North America to where we think the only way that we can generate a certain amount of wealth is if we are corrupt and we sell ourselves out. We don't think that we can generate a nice amount of revenue the righteous way without selling ourselves out, staying true to ourselves. See, that's how we have been misled. That's how we have been deceived. That's how we have been corrupted and manipulated. There is definitely a way to stay true to yourself and still generate the wealth and revenue. But again, when you stay true to yourself and when you stay humble, you are not one of the ones that's out here flashy. So a lot of people don't think you got it simply because that's not how you conduct yourself. The individuals that's out here actually broke are the ones that's appearing to be the flashiest, because again, they overcompensating for the areas in which they lack. See, they may lack in the mental and emotional department, so they got to overcompensate by showing you all these materials. Got to be very cautious in regards to dealing with an individual like that. Very cautious. Hey, shot by, peace, what's happening? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. This alpha male, beta male, and people talking about game. Like all of this is nonsense, and it just further adds to the division between black men and black women. And I don't want to add to that division. I'm not here to give anybody game. Man, it was plenty of times where people was trying to get me to talk about things in regards to relationships. And I told them flat out, I said, nah, I'm not the one. I said, man, I ain't got no advice for people when it comes to relationships, man. I'm a work in progress. The only relationship advice that I have is the relationship advice that I'm going to give you in regards to dealing with yourself. That's the most important relationship. I'm not here to give you games and tell you what to look for in regards to catching women slipping and catching men slipping and things like that. Man, I ain't got nothing to offer you in that regards. I have nothing to offer you. All I can do is provide you with the tools that will help you discover who you are, which is AKA knowledge of self. That's all I have for you. That's all I have for you. I'm not out here talking about game. When women do this, then that's what this means. When a dude do this, then that's what this means. Man, I got time for that. All these dudes out here and these women out here giving you all of this information, whole while their relationships be trash. Whole while their history be trash. But they know any and everything to look out for. But they still can't make a good decision themselves because they not right within. Well, Lauryn Hill say, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? That's what she said. Lauryn Hill said that. Lauryn Hill said it best, man. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? So we out here telling everybody what to look out for externally, whole while internally we all messed up. We all destroyed. We all corrupted internally. But we gonna tell you what to look out for externally. Not finna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, Shabba, you say watching it over the past year or two has increased my low self-esteem. Exactly. That's what it's gonna do. That's the type of impact it's gonna have. Like, I don't even understand why I would even want to tap into something like that. I don't even want to tap into anything that I know will bring my self-esteem down. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to consume that type of energy. I don't want to consume that type of content. And I have the power to not consume it. So I'm not tapping in. That's why a lot of times when people ask me, have you watched such and such? Why would I want to watch it? Why would I want to watch somebody try to tell me how they feel like my life gonna turn out based off of like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me. You don't know how my life is gonna turn out. So I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you tell me, try to define me by my age, my height, my weight, my skin tone, and then you're gonna try to tell me how my life gonna turn out. No, I tell myself how my life gonna turn out, so I don't need anybody else to do that. I don't need anybody else to do that. I got the power, man. What I want to happen in my life, I speak it into existence. So I really don't care about what somebody else is telling me. If I don't have this by 35, then I'm this. Sounds good coming from you, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm the sole controller of my universe. I'm the sole controller of my life. So if I want something to happen, it's going to happen simply because I'm going to believe it, I'm going to speak it, and then I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to live out the reality. So nobody else controls that. So when you start listening to these other people, and you start believing in these other people, you know what I'm saying? They are going to manipulate the outcome of your life, because you're going to be subscribing to them, you're going to believe them, you're going to accept them as some type of authority. So when they tell you something and you accept it, then that becomes your reality. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that, especially when you analyze their life. Again, stop playing with me, man. I'm not about to allow what they are saying become my reality. I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow it. Dean, peace. What's happening? Oh, just for sure. Like I said, man, I do not be tapped into the YouTube. You know, I do my little videos, man, and I watch like random stuff on YouTube, man. I be watching a lot of random stuff. I don't have time for it, man. It's just a lot of toxic people on this here platform, man. A lot of toxic people that's out to just get a bunch of views, just stir up the pot, add to the division. Just a lot of nonsense, man. A lot of, and then again, ignorance. And this is another reason why I try not to tap in, because it's easy to get influenced by the ignorance. Because you see, when people are ignorant, it gets their views up, they get subscribers and things like that. So when you are a content creator yourself and you see that, you're like, dang, man, look at this ignorance getting all these views. I know what I'm saying is more valuable than what they saying, but since I'm not ignorant, it's not getting views. Maybe I should become more ignorant to get some views. You start thinking like that. So I don't even be tapping into stuff like that, because I already know how that can influence a person to get off track. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even allowing that to influence me, because again, like I said, I know exactly how to get the views up. All I got to do is start embracing ignorance. I am a young black man. All I got to do is start talking bad about black women. That's it. if I want to skyrocket, all I got to do is start talking bad about black women, and I'm there. There we go. I made it. I made it. No matter what my situation is at home, that's all I got to do on here, on this here platform. That's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. Or I can just talk bad about black men. One of the two. However I want to go about it. I'll be all in the algorithms. Dedicate my whole platform to bashing black women. I'm all in the algorithms. I'm not going to get not one strike, not one video removed, not one video deleted. Matter of fact, like I said, I'm going to appear on everybody's homepage as a recommended watch. Nick, for sure. Again, people, when I always break down the math, man, people don't understand. We skip steps. Okay, when we break down the math, we got three important steps. You got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. A lot of times people skip the knowledge part and they go right to the wisdom. See, the wisdom is the motion. Wisdom is motion. Motion is cool, motion is necessary. But it's like, I'm gonna use exercising for example. The motion would be doing the exercise. Well, if you skip the one, which is learning how to do the exercise properly, and go straight to two, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna do the exercise improperly, and guess what's gonna happen? That's gonna result in injury. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people skip step number one, because step number one can be tedious, because you gotta learn, you gotta do the knowledge, you gotta research. You know, before you jump into that squat, you gotta know how to squat. But if you just get under that bar and just start squatting, that's that too. That's gonna set you up for knee problems, back problems, the whole nine. But if you allow a coach to teach you how to properly squat, then you practice, now you good. But in life, we like to skip step number one. That's the foundation. Number one is the very foundation. But we like to skip that. We like to go right to the motion. Right to the motion, and then claim to have to understand it. There is no possible way you can gain an understanding by skipping the one, going from 2 to 3. You got to embrace the one. You got to embrace the first part of the process, which is the knowledge, which is the acquisition of the information, the research, the data that you collect, the background check, whatever it is that you want to call it. You cannot skip step number one. It's very important. Do the knowledge. Do the knowledge. Yeah, just man, I'm telling you, well versed. We try to be well versed in everything and everybody. We claim to know everybody and everything, but then when it comes to ourselves, we like, I don't know. I don't know. Shantae, peace, Queen, what's happening? Terminator 1187, peace, what's the word? Dominique, peace, what's happening? Kansu, peace, what's the word? Yeah, just that's what I'm saying. Embrace your journey, man. Embrace your journey, your vision, whatever you want to refer to it as. Embrace it, man. It's yours. Don't feel pressure to make certain moves out here because you see everybody else doing it and you see everybody else talking about it. Like it's certain things that I see everybody that's doing right now, but I'm not in a rush to jump on that bandwagon because I know how I am as a person. I don't want to jump into something without researching it. And if I don't have the time to research it, then I'm not just going to jump into it because I like to know what it is that I'm doing, what I'm getting myself into. So I'm not one to rush into something simply because everybody is talking about it. I got to read some books on it. I got to research some things on it before I fully commit to it. That's how I am. So when I see a lot of people talking about something, I'm not just going to instantly jump ship. I'm not going to do it. And I respect, and that's that. I respect that part of myself, man. I'm not gonna rush into onto a bandwagon simply because the whole world is saying do it. It might be the right move to make, but if I'm not comfortable to make that move, I'm not gonna make it. I don't allow society to pressure me into making a decision. I don't allow society to dictate how I move and when I move. I dictate that. Okay, now I did the research. Now I'm comfortable. Now I'm gonna make this decision. Now I'm gonna make this move. That's how I like to move. Other people, we feel pressure. Oh man, I saw such and such mention this. I saw such and such eat like this. I saw such and such invest in this. Maybe I should do it. No. If you don't have the knowledge, slow down. Okay, you see such and such eating like that. Research that first. You see such and such invested in this. Research that first before you try to make a decision. Don't just do it because they did it. They may have researched it and it may have made sense to them. So don't do it just because they did it. It may not make sense for you. It may not be the right move for you. It may not be the time for you to do it. So you got to weigh the pros and cons. Like we don't be doing that. Again, we skipping that one, going right to the two. Walker, peace, peace, my brother. What's happening? RBG, my brother, peace. Tierra, exactly. Just better yourself. And that's always what I tell people. A lot of people be surprised at some of the advice that I give. I'm telling you, man, I done had brothers come to me about advice dealing with women. And I'm like, man, just focus on yourself. It's like a broken record. I say the same thing every time. I always tell a brother, listen, focus on yourself. Focus on being the best version of yourself. Focus on your strengths, your weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Play to your strengths. Try to build up them weaknesses, but more so focus on playing to your strengths. Things like that, man. Knowledge yourself. Know who you are. Discover who you are. Figure out your purpose. Live out that reality. That's my relationship advice. Every time a brother comes and start talking about women to me, I start talking about self. I start talking about self because that's the most important thing. Because if we focus on women, all we going to end up doing is playing the blame game. That's all we going to do. Dudes like, oh, I can't, I don't understand these women. It ain't for you to understand. You got to understand yourself. That's when you're going to gain an understanding of life around you. When you understand yourself. See, you don't understand these women that you're dealing with because you don't understand yourself. And people don't understand what I'm saying when I say that. You don't understand these women that you're dealing with because you don't understand yourself. You don't understand how you are attracting these women to your life, into your life, because you don't understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you're going to understand why you are attracting the type of person or the type of people into your life that you are attracting. That comes from understanding. But to get to that 3, you got to go through the 1 and 2. So when you do the knowledge to yourself and you put things into motion, that's the understanding. But we skipping steps. So you ain't understanding these women because you lack an understanding of yourself. You confused. So you attract confusion. You lack an understanding of yourself, so you're going to attract that to your life. You're going to attract a bunch of women that you don't understand because you don't understand yourself. When you understand yourself, when you respect yourself, guess what you're going to attract? Guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract, that's going to be your reflection. Tell black men this all the time. That's going to be your reflection. That's what you're going to attract. When you value yourself, when you understand yourself, when you know yourself, then your woman is going to be a reflection of that. Your woman will be a reflection of that energy. But if you are confused, you lack in understanding, you are corrupted internally and mentally, then that's what you will also attract. So people got to understand that. But people tend to not understand that, and they like to play the blame game. Oh, these women crazy, these women this, that, and the third. Analyze yourself. What role did you play in attracting them type of women to your life? Again, see, people don't like to have them conversations with me because I'ma always take it and apply it to self. I'ma always acknowledge your role or try to get you to acknowledge the role that you have played in your outcome, in your situation, in your circumstance. I'm not going to play the blame game. I don't care about all these women that you're talking about. They came to you for a reason. You attracted them for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You done dealt with 4 or 5 women in the past 4 or 5 years, and you say they all crazy. Well, there's something up with you. What did you do to attract all of them? We ain't gonna focus on the fact they may be crazy. We gonna focus on what did you do to attract them. If you have dealt with 5 women in the past 5 years, first of all, that's ridiculous. You need to slow down. But then if they all have one common denominator, they are all crazy. What does that say about you? Don't deflect. Don't say, man, I done dealt with these women over the past and they all crazy. What is that saying about you? You are the one that attracted them. You are the one that was dealing with them. You are the one that entertained them. So what does that say about you? That's what I need to know. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need to know. All these women you dealt with, they crazy, but you not. All these brothers you dealing with, they crazy, but you not. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. So you gotta look in the mirror. You gotta look in the mirror. That internal man, you gotta look within. Like, okay, I'm attracting all this craziness because obviously it's some part of me that's crazy and made like this. So I gotta dig deep into the subconscious or something and figure out why am I attracting this in my life. It's something that I'm doing that's causing this to come to me. It's something that I'm doing that's causing all this energy to come my way. I got to analyze myself. I got to examine myself and see why. Dean and Clutch for sure. Yeah, gossiping about celebrities and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'll be out here, man. I'll be out, and I've done a test on that. You know what I'm saying? I have put out a few videos talking about certain celebrities and things that was trending, and I talked about it, adding my little twisted insight. And those are the ones that get all the views. You know what I'm saying? So I already know I done already conducted these type of experiments. That's how I know. That's when I tell people I know exactly what to do to get the page to a certain level. I just don't choose to do it. I conducted those experiments. I know what works. I know what works in regards to getting views up. Like, I know what works. I'm just not going to be doing that on a consistent basis unless it makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's something that's trending that I can add my input to, you know what I'm saying, that's relevant to what I talk about or relevant to my principles and morals and all of that. That's the only way that I would talk about something in that light. It's the only way. That's the only way. Oh yeah, Gene, and that part probably finna go over people's heads, man. You don't understand the women because you don't understand yourself. That's gonna go over people's heads, man. But again, it's gonna go over people's heads because we don't like accountability. We don't like accountability. We like to always play the blame game and point fingers. Again, that lack of understanding stems from self. Stems from self. You're not understanding these things around you because you have neglected yourself. Yeah, Tierra, they not self-aware at all. All you got to do, like I said, ask a simple question. Ask a person. You walk up to a person and ask them who they are. They may give you a bunch of stats. They may give you a name. You know what I'm saying? But when you ask them to define themselves, like, people do not have a description. They don't have a definition of who they are. They haven't thought about it because they are not aware. They're not self-aware. Just ask them that simple question. Who are you? Not what's your name. I can ask you that. That's how I would ask that. What's your name? But you ask a person who they are. They might give you the name. They can't give you a definition, a description. Can't do it. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to realize, all right, I'm moving too fast. I'm moving too much. I need to slow down. But instead, we want to keep getting into situations, and then we want to blame the people that we getting into situations with. Like, nah, first of all, you moving too fast. You need to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you just left a traumatic relationship. This ain't the time to jump into something new. You got to deal with that traumatic relationship. You got to make sure it's resolved before you try to move on. And a lot of times that don't happen. Again, it's that unresolved conflict that creates illness internally. You know what I'm saying? We're not solving these conflicts. We're not solving these issues internally. And then we trying to jump on to the next joint. No, it's unhealthy. Prodigal son, the foundation is you, most definitely. The foundation is always you. I mean, again, it's always you. At the end of the day, even if you're dealing with a relationship, well, we got to understand the person that you with, they not guaranteed to be with you, but you don't have to be guaranteed to be with yourself at all times. You know what I'm saying? You can't run from yourself. Like this person that you with, they can leave you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They can leave you tomorrow, but you can't leave yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it always goes back to self. And we got to realize that we cling into all these people. Again, these people, they come and go. People come and go. People come and go, man. You got to understand, you got to deal with yourself, man. You got to deal with your internal problems first and foremost. And you got to make sure all of that is solved before you run out here. First of all, just attaching yourself to people, places, and things is a formula or recipe for suffering anyway. You can study my Eastern philosophers for that. They tell you the recipe for suffering is attachment. Attaching yourself to these people, attaching yourself to these places and things, that's how you set yourself up for misery, suffering. So first and foremost, you should not be attaching yourself to these people, these concepts, these ideas, these statuses, these labels. You shouldn't be doing that. But you definitely shouldn't be doing that at the expense of neglecting yourself. Oh, just for sure. Yeah, that people don't want to work on themselves. That's definitely boring. They want to work on everybody else. They want to make it appear as though everybody else is a problem that needs to be fixed and not them. See, that's exciting to them. Jason, peace. What's the word? Yeah, that's exciting to them. But as my lessons talk about, as the math and everything goes back to self. Like at the end of the day, I take everything and I apply it to self. It's going to go back to self one way or another. When I read a book, okay, how can I apply this to self? When I'm watching a show or a movie, how can I take this and apply it to self? Everything, man, you got to take it and apply it to self. That's one of the purposes of life, man, to take these things, man, that you experience in life, apply it to self so that you can become better, so that you can become stronger, so that you can become wiser. But again, we do not do that. We like to neglect self. We like to take something that we learn and we like to give it to somebody else, apply it to somebody else's life. Oh, if such and such would do this, then they'd do X, Y, and Z. They'd get X, Y, and Z. Now, what if you did it though? What if you did it? We trying to fix everybody else's life. That's how we trying to move. That's how we trying to function and operate. We need to stop doing that. Alvarez, peace. What's the word? What's the word? Appreciate you tapping in. And that's one of the reasons, like I said, we clinging in regards to the topic of this particular stream, man, just worshiping the materials, the money. Like we too driven by these materials. We too driven by these statuses and these labels and these concepts. We too driven by all these things to the point to where we think if we don't have certain things that, again, we worthless. And a lot of this stuff it don't really have any value. It don't really mean much. It don't really mean much. And I'm going to use one for example. The people think, and people get on my head when I talk about it, but it's a lot of people, the way they view marriage. Listen, marriage is just a concept. That's literally all it is. It's just a concept. It has nothing to do with actual love. There are plenty of people who are married who cannot stand each other, who don't love each other. They just marry. It's a concept. But a lot of people on the outside looking in see two people that's married and they be on social media giving off this appearance. And now people say, I want that type of love. You may already have that type of love. You may already have that type of love. And for one, that love may not be all of what is all of what they hyping it up to be. So we like to judge based off of statuses and labels. We'll think, oh man, they married out here. She got the ring and this, that, and the third. They living a good life. I aspire to be like them, man. You do not know what go on behind closed doors, man. What's the percentage of how many marriages end in divorce? So again, we got to stop associate, like we associate love with marriage. We think that that's the true symbol of love. It's really not. It's really not. That's one of the concepts that has caused us to be brainwashed. A lot of people get in their feelings when I start talking about that, particularly women. Particularly women. They get in their feelings when I start talking about that, but that's not an association, man. Just because a brother gave you a ring does not necessarily mean he loved you. Like, it don't mean that he won't cheat on you. It don't mean that he loves you. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that, man. It is a concept, and we didn't cling to that concept, and we think that concept means something. We think it means something. We think it means that if a dude then got on a knee and gave you a ring and proposed, that's it. No, it's not. It's not going to significantly change your life. Like, contrary to what you may be believing and thinking, man, it's just simply a concept. It's a concept, man. And what's the reason why you even believe in this concept in the first place? You got to start asking yourself questions like that, man. Tierra, for sure. It's all about the image. It's all about the status and things like that, man. You want to show off the ring. Like, look, he gave me the ring, but he really don't fool with you, though. Really don't love you, though. You know what I'm saying? How many couples I heard, how many people are getting cheated on while they are married? It happens frequently. It happens quite often. You know what I'm saying? How many abusive situations stem from marriages? What's the divorce rate again? Like, just look at it, man. Like, it's not associated with love, man. It's not associated with true love, man. It's just not. It's not. But we have associated with it. Like, we think that, all right, he got down on his knee, he proposed to me, he loves me. That's how you set yourself up, man. That's how you set yourself up for the okie doke. That's how you set yourself up for the okie doke. To the point where you start saying dumb things like, well, if he ain't married you by 3 years, then he don't really love you. Okay. All you gonna get is dudes that's gonna pray on that stupid statement. They're gonna pray on that dumb statement. Okay, all right. So she feel like she gotta be married in 3 years. Okay, cool. She feel like if I marry her in 3 years, then I love her. That's an easy person to manipulate. That's an easy person to manipulate. Look how dumb you sounded, man. That's just dumb, man. Things don't work like that, man. But again, when I start talking like that, people getting their feelings, man. Stuff is deeper than a concept, man. It's deeper than a concept. It's a lot deeper than that. Concept given to you by, again, I ain't even gonna get into that, man. Y'all know who the concept was given to us by. Our better future, for sure. For sure. And then what you say, these labels people trying to live up to are dangerously rigid for 100%. 100%. And it's like I said, it's all for appearance, man. It's all for appearance. We clinging to these statuses and these labels all for appearance. So we can make ourselves feel like we high and mighty above other people that ain't got it, that ain't got the status, that ain't got the label. That don't mean anything, man. So you could be single and way more happier than a person that's married. But you got people that's out here on these platforms that's telling you or trying to convince you that if you're not married by a certain age with kids, this, that, and the third, then your life sucks, basically. You're going to be miserable, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you might be the happiest person on the planet and you ain't married and you don't have no kids and you could be the happiest person on the planet. But if you subscribe into what some of these other people are saying, no, you miserable. How you going to tell me I'm miserable? How you going to tell another person they miserable? If they don't aspire to be married and they don't aspire to have kids and they perfectly happy with that, then they perfectly happy with that. You can't tell that person that they not, but that's what you have people doing on these platforms. Like people don't understand that, man. That's why I don't, these concepts and these, like, all that type of stuff don't define me. It don't define the love that I have for people. It don't, man. It just don't do it. Don't do it for me. My ways and actions gonna define a lot. My ways and actions gonna define that. You gonna know the love is real coming from me before I, you know what I'm saying, embrace a concept. Before I embrace a concept. Like, that concept ain't about to solidify anything. I'm gonna be solidified with my love, with my energy before I commit to a concept. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a concept to validate something for me. I don't. My ways and actions gonna validate that for me. That's what's gonna happen, and that's how a lot of people fall for the okie doke. Again, a lot of these things revolve around materialism. It revolves around the external. So again, when you are a woman and you want a dude to buy you a certain type of ring, you want a dude to supply you with, or you want to be supplied with a certain type of wedding. Like these things you think are making you happy, but they are not. These are material objects. These are material things. These are external things. You should be looking for a lot more. You should be looking for a lot more coming from a dude, coming from a man. If you allow them to blind you because of how expensive the ring was and how crazy the wedding was, then you about to be setting yourself up for some miserable situation, for a miserable relationship, a miserable marriage. Gotta understand what you're doing out here, man. Gotta understand that, man. It's dudes out here that know that. Hence, they done created terms like high value man. So it's dudes out here that know that, all right, if I want to get a certain type of woman, or if I want to get certain women, all I got to do is throw money her way. Buy her an expensive ring, buy her a car, buy her this, that, and the third. If I do these things for her, then I'm gonna get her. It's gonna appear as if I love her. And some of the women fall for that because they cling to these materials. And then when they get knee deep into this marriage or relationship, they realize there is no connection there. And they say dumb things like we grew apart. No, y'all never was on the same type of vibe in the beginning. So it wasn't no growing apart. Y'all never grew together in the first place. But they start saying dumb things like that when all those material, like when the value of those material possessions fade away. And now they got to sit down and have a conversation with the individual. And they like, dang, it ain't no connection here. So we must have grew apart. Nope. Y'all never was together in the first place. You was just blinded by the materials. You was blinded by the objects. You was blinded by all of that nonsense. You was blinded by it. Y'all never had a connection in the first place. He bought his way into you. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot. You know how many women out here think that a dude straight loved them because they didn't propose to him and bought him a ring? Y'all know how many women out here fit this bill? He must love me because he did this. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all probably ignoring a bunch of things. Y'all think that the dude is loving you simply because he invested in a ring and he about to marry you. Like, man, come on, man. You gotta look beyond the surface, man. You gotta look beyond the surface. That's why, like I said, a lot of these things end in divorce because people ain't looking beyond the surface. They think that that's the end all be all to get that ring and to get married. That's it. It's not. Maurice, peace. What's the word? Terenzo, peace. What's happening? Shantae, y'all already know I don't got not one ring on the finger. So y'all already know how I get down. Y'all already know. I'm like, to show y'all I'm true to the cause. Like, people think I be talking. I'm true to the cause. Y'all see a ring on my finger? Not one. Not one. It's certain things that I'm not. Listen, when I tell y'all I am far from a materialistic person, I mean that. Like, man, I am not rocking a ring. I'm not doing that. Because that's not a symbol for anything, man. It's not a symbol for anything for me. So therefore, I'm not subscribing to this Western tradition. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I know where my love lies. Like, I don't need a ring to symbolize that. I got a mouth. So if anybody want to know something, they can come ask me. And I'm gonna tell them. I don't need for them to see a ring and then start making assumptions. Like, nah, I got that. I'm gonna let them know what's up. You know what I'm saying? I got it. You know what I'm saying? The symbol for my love is through my ways and actions, not some type of ring on my finger, man. So again, y'all see it. Y'all done seen my hands plenty of times. Ain't nothing on it. So I stick like, listen, my word is my bond. I stand on what I say. I stand behind the things that I subscribe to and believe in. Like, seriously. I'm not just one of the ones that talk about that stuff, man. That right there is not important to me. And I'm not even gonna fake like it is. But I'm trying to tap into some of the comments here, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, DJ Elmo for sure, man. That frivolous spending. Better future. What do you say? What can you say about those who follow doctrines? Just heard a brother with 11 baby mamas and he has 14 kids. Oh, now what you mean? What can I say about the people that follow doctrines? I mean, at the end of the day, most people don't follow their doctrines to a T. They pick and choose what they want to follow from their doctrine. So they pick and choose. So most people don't follow any doctrine out here fully. They just pick and choose what parts make sense to them, what parts stand out to them. Then they want to follow those parts, the ones that stand out. The ones that don't stand out, they don't want to follow them. Then they want to hit you with the "we are all sinners" and things like that. So people don't be following their doctrine out here. For one, they don't even be reading it. But it's like the things that stand out to them, they want to follow those things, man. The things that really stand out. They're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna follow that. I'm gonna follow that. For instance, I'm gonna give you a prime example. You have a lot of people, they try to talk about polygamy, and then they try to bring out King Solomon in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? King Solomon had how many wives? I mean, they want to bring that situation up. Okay, cool. All right, then you want to pick and choose when you want to use the scripture to make a point. But then I also point out what the Old Testament says about dietary laws. And now they want to look at me like it's crazy. So now you want to use King Solomon to justify being polygamous. Got you. Cool. But then I want to I'm telling you that, hey, Old Testament is telling you basically to be a plant-based vegan, something along those lines, eat a ton of fruits and vegetables, live off the herbs of the land, things like that. Why are you not doing that? Now you got an excuse and justification, or you say I'm misinterpreting the scriptures. That's what you want to do. But then when you want to justify polygamy, now you want to jump to King Solomon and use that as an example. So people pick and choose. People wishy-washy when it comes to following any type of doctrine out here. They want to follow the things that benefit their perspective. All right, we back in there, man. I don't know, man. My computer just shut off on me real quick. There you go. My computer straight just shut off on me real quick. Like all of a sudden I was talking, and next thing you know, the screen just did something crazy. Dean, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. That's why I don't even have serious conversations with them, because they just pick and choose. Pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? Pick and choose. I had too many conversations revolving along like around those lines, man. It's just those conversations don't never end well, because again, they pick and choose. They pick and choose. Yeah, better future. Like I said, yeah, there they go. They use the be fruitful and multiply. You know what I'm saying? That's when they want to, like I said, that's when they want to bring the Bible into the mix, man. But man, listen, the Bible says a lot. Mugs be out here lying. Mugs be out here committing adultery. Mugs be out here doing all of this. But then when it's something that they did in their life and they can use the Bible to justify it, then they do it. Yeah, it tells the Bible say be fruitful and multiply. It also tells you don't worship false idols. It tells you don't commit adultery. Like you shouldn't be out here lying. Like it tell you a bunch of respect the mother and father, things like that. And you're not doing any of that type of stuff. You're not doing any of that. Any of that. But you want to say, it's be fruitful and multiply. I'm just living according to the Bible. Okay, cool. So live according to it 100%. But people are not doing that. People ain't doing it at all. Ray, peace. What's the word? Shantae, y'all was out here turned lit, as they say. Michael, peace. What's happening? Yeah, nice, man. It's big work. Like all relationships are work. Point blank. Period. A lot of people don't be understanding that. And for the life of me, I can't stand when I see adults, grown people aspiring to have relationships like other people that they see on social media. Again, man, you don't know what is going. I don't aspire like people. I'm not starstruck. Like I don't care about these celebrities, man, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like they bleed just like I do. I'm not about to see a person and be like, oh my gosh, can't believe it. Just like I'm not about to analyze a relationship on any type of platform and be like, I want to have that type of love. No, I don't. I don't know what type of love that is, man. I want to have my type of love. You know what I'm saying? That's it. not aspiring to be like anybody else out here, man. That's the problem with people, man. You're watching these things, man. You trying to escape your reality. You trying to run from self, and you trying to immerse yourself in somebody else's reality, man. Stop doing that. Stop doing it, man. You can look up to people without striving to be like them or aspiring to be like them, man. Just look up and respect them. Like, man, I respect that couple. I respect how they move based off of what I'm seeing on social media. Much respect. That's it. I ain't got to be sitting here saying, man, I hope to have a such and such one day. I hope to be like such and such one day. I don't do that. Got time for that, man. I don't know the truth behind what's really going on behind outside of what I see on social media. Yeah, better future, man. I'm telling you. That walking away is the best thing you can do because they're gonna have a ton of justifications using that book, and it's gonna get ridiculous. It's gonna get ridiculous. Tierra, that's what I be trying to tell people, man. People coming to me in the physical, telling me, man, I aspire, man, y'all relationship goals. First of all, I say, man, I'm like, chill, man. Like, I'm cool. You can respect that, but again, you don't know stuff that we have to deal with, the stuff that we got to, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's happening. And I tell people, I correct people all the time. It's cool to respect it, man. Cool, man. But don't be like, relationship, but man, you don't know what goes on, man. You don't know what goes on, man. Just try to have a good relationship with yourself. That's the only true goal that you should be after out here, man. Try to have a great relationship with yourself. All the other stuff is a bonus. It's extra. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a solid relationship with yourself, nothing else even matters at the end of the day. All the relationships with all these other people don't matter if you don't have a solid relationship with yourself. That's the most important relationship. So stop talking about relationship goals in regards to other people and their relationships. No, your relationship goal is to have a solid, rock solid relationship with yourself. That's the biggest relationship goal. That's the biggest relationship goal, man. That's the only relationship goal. The one that you have with yourself. Yeah, stop aspiring to be like such and such and such and such. Stop doing that. Aspire to be the greatest version of yourself. That's what you aspire to do and be. Again, broken record, but I have to keep repeating this. Because again, we are in this social media age, and a lot of people watching these individuals aspiring to be like them. No, I'm not aspiring to be like anybody. Y'all see how I drop content. I don't drop, to my knowledge, I don't really drop content like anybody else on here. Because I'm not striving, I'm not looking up to somebody saying I'm finna drop content like them. I'm finna make the same type of content as such and such. Man, I drop the content how I want to drop the content. I drop the content that makes sense to me to drop. So I ain't out here watching somebody else's YouTube and I'm finna do that. I ain't out here inspired by how somebody else is moving on YouTube, man. I'm inspired by what I just read about or what I thought about, and then I get on here and I talk about it. That's how I'm inspired to move. So I'm not motivated by what I see on here. Oh man, all right, such and such moving like that, such and such talking about this. Let me talk about it. Let me make my channel about this. Listen, what people don't understand, man, the culture that I comes from, man, the 5% nation of gods and earths, we got to give ourselves a righteous name. You know what I'm saying? And that's a name that you get when you start studying the lessons, the math, and all of that good stuff. So whenever you feel equipped to give yourself a name, you give yourself a name. Sometimes you have other people name you. One of the names that I gave the name that I gave myself, the righteous name that I gave myself, a lot of people don't know, is Universal Adam. The universal part is the crucial part. Universal. What does it mean to be universal? To me, that means to be well balanced. That's what universal means to me, to be well balanced, meaning I deal with a multitude of things. I study the universe. I study life around me. That's what it means to be universal. I deal with all the elements of life. So I study everything literally. So I don't have a niche because the universe, life is my niche. So I'm going to talk about any and everything simply because that is what I study, any and everything. I study life around me. That is how we break down Islam. I study life around me. ISLAM. That is an acronym for Islam, which Islam simply means peace. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we break it down. And that's why I came up with the name Universal. So I'm not out here trying to act like I'm an expert on relationships. I'm an expert in this, that, and the third. Man, what I claim to be is a person that is experiencing things in life, or that's a student of life. And I like to try to teach or tell people what I have figured out or learned from my experiences, from my research, from my information. That's what I do. That's what I do. Like people that like that, that's what I do, man. I'm not giving my like universal was the name that listen, and then when you understand what an atom is, when you understand the significance of the atom when it comes to like evolution, when it comes to like just science, physics, and things like that, y'all got to understand how powerful an atom is. But again, an atom is something that you can't even see with the naked eye. And y'all know that I'm already like just physically, I'm a smaller guy. So that's why I gave myself the name Adam, man. But the atom is responsible for life. Like the cracking of that atom gave birth to life when you really start studying science. It's a lot of life inside a small atom that you can't even see with the naked eye. You can't just go pick up an atom and look at it right now. But that's all your body is made of, and it's invisible, man. But that little small atom is responsible for a lot of life. And that's how I look at myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm a small person, man, but I got a lot of energy, got a lot of life. I got a lot of life that I'm ready to spit out to the masses. That's why I gave myself that name, Universal Atom, man. I'm a person that studies, I'm a person that studies life through this small stature, but I'm powerful and I'm responsible for speaking life into existence and waking a lot of people up in the process, man. That is why I gave myself that name. That is how I move. That's how I've always been. That's how I always will be. And I'm never going to get off my square for anybody. Never. Never. I'm not about to be out here following a trend. I'm not about to be out here trying to do things just to get a channel to click and get more subscribers, this, that, and the third. I'm not about to be out here airing out my dirty laundry on YouTube for views. Like, I'm not going to do that, man. Listen, we go through problems, but you're not going to know about it because I'm not going to run on here and start talking about them and try to air everything out. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do it. Not gonna do it, man. That's childish. I'm not about to do that. Even though I know the world loves drama, so they would love nothing more to see me airing out dirty laundry every time an argument happens. Getting on here talking bad about, they'll love to see that. Like, see, look at that. They ain't as perfect as we thought. Look at them arguing. They love to see that. I'm not gonna ever do that. I ain't gonna do nothing like that. Your son, you already know, man. Peace. What's happening with you? Clocks in for sure. And that's how you break it down, man. That's why we got to give ourselves names, man. Like the righteous name joint was very powerful for me. So I'm just giving myself, just naming myself something. You know what I'm saying? The power of giving yourself a name. Like I respect the government name that I was given by my peoples, but it's one thing to name yourself. Like again, it's called being born again. People think born again only applies to Christianity. No, you born again in life in general when you get knowledge yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you born through the womb in the physical, then mentally you're gonna be reborn when you start to acquire this information as a black person in the wilderness of North America. That's being born again. When you a black man or a black woman and you get knowledge yourself, you born again. You born again. Oh, DJ Elmo. Oh, you already know I know about the utility curve, man. That go back to the college days when I was in school for business, man. I had to take macro economics, had to take a lot of economics, man, just finance and all of that. So I'm definitely familiar with the utility curve, all of that good stuff, man. Economics is something key that everybody needs to learn how to study and master. Like I said, universal. Got to study everything, man. We got to study everything because it's all connected at the end of the day. It's all connected. You know what I'm saying? When you study these things, you figure out it's all connected. But you got to study it. Got to study life. You gotta study life. See, you study self, you study life. It's all connected. It's all connected, man. So don't be afraid. And that's another way, man. That's another way to just build mental health. Build mental health, man. Study something that makes you uncomfortable. Study something that's challenging. See, we like to indulge in research that's comfortable to us, that support our point of view already. No, read something that challenges your perspective. Read something that challenges you in general. If you're not good with math, You're not good with something like trigonometry or geometry or chemistry, man, read a chemistry book. If you don't understand physics, man, read a physics book. You know what I'm saying? That is how you strengthen the mind. That's how you prevent Alzheimer's and dementia. Challenge the brain. Challenge the brain. That's how you strengthen it. But again, we like to, if we go to a bookstore, we gonna pick out a book that's comfortable. All right, man, this book look comfortable, it look easy to read, it don't look intimidating. I'm gonna grab that joint, I'm gonna consume that one. Nah, read something that's intimidating. Read that 600-page physics book. Read it. That's gonna strengthen the mind. That's gonna strengthen the brain. That's gonna prevent that Alzheimer's and dementia. That's what you got to do. Ananias, let's get it. All clocks in for sure, man. Like y'all already know the quote, man. You know what I'm saying? I know that I know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that keeps me hungry. That keeps me hungry for that knowledge. That keeps me hungry for that information. Knowing that I know absolutely nothing. The more that I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And that keeps me thirsty. That keeps me hungry. That's why sometimes I can't fathom when you get a lot of these dudes on, you know what I'm saying, these platforms that actually be thinking that they know a little bit of something and you can't tell them anything. Fam, listen, there's a lot for these, especially these young bulls. I'm like, man, if you go back to the days of our ancestors, man, do you know how long you had to study under the Egyptian mystery school system for you to be even semi-qualified to teach any type of information, to teach the basics? Dudes out here thinking that they know something at 20, 25. Man, listen, you don't know nothing, man. You done read a few books, man. You think you know something. You don't. Do the knowledge to the ancient Egyptian mystery school system and see how long they had to study. See how long they had to study. Better future. You already know. Let me know how long they had to study, man. And again, we coming out here thinking we know everything at 20, 25, 30. Come on. We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. I don't know anything, man. Every time I pick up a book, I learn that I just did not know what I was talking about. Every time I pick up a book, every time I research, I'm like, dang, I thought I knew what I was talking about. I didn't. I didn't. I feel like the only thing I think I know what I'm talking about is like fitness and stuff like that because I have been doing it. I do it to earn my living, man. But everything outside of this, like, man, every time I pick up a book, I'm like, dang, I ain't know that. I ain't know this. I ain't know that. I don't know this. To see the moment you become a problem is when you actually think you know something and you no longer need to learn. You think that what you know is right and exact and you no longer need to learn anything else. That is a problem. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I got millions of books that confirm I know absolutely nothing. Millions of books that confirm that. I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm not afraid to say that. And that's why a lot of times when I build, you may hear me say something like based on my research, or you will hear me say in my opinion. Those are key words that a lot of people miss when I'm having conversations in the physical. My boy Antonio, peace, what's happening? Percy, peace, my brother, what's happening? And no problem. You already know we're going to always stay humble. But when I'm having conversations with a lot of people, they miss that when I say in my opinion or based on my research. See, when I do that for a reason. When I hit you with the it's my opinion, or when I tell you that based on my research, at the end of the day, when you try to argue with me, I just told you it's my opinion. Then I just told you it's based on my research. I just told you those things. I didn't make it seem like what I said was law. I said this is based on my research and this is my opinion. So a lot of people miss those things, man, when you having conversations with them. That's why I always try to make sure I announce that before I start building on my opinion and things based off of my research, or I give them the resources. Like you will see me bring up the books. I'm like, again, if you have a problem with what's being said, here are the books that I've read. Here are the books that I researched. But again, people miss that. Jason, for sure. Always, man. Just listening and thinking. You know what I'm saying? Thinking before you speak. Thinking before you respond. I mean, just thinking before you move. Like just all of that type of stuff, man. Just asking questions to get clarification before you respond to somebody. I would do things like that. Like a lot of times before I even give a person an answer or a response, I will ask questions off of some things that I need clarification on that they just said. So a lot of times before I build and I just listen to a person talk, I may ask a few questions like, all right, you said such and such. What did you mean by that? And then you said this, what you mean? So then once I get my clarification, then I may think, all right, cool, that's my clarification. Now let me give you a response. A lot of times people will listen to what you said and they assume what you meant and they'll respond based off of assumptions. I'm not going to do that. If something didn't make sense to me, if I didn't understand something, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Like, I need clarification. Once I get the clarification, then I'm still not going to respond immediately. I'm going to say, okay, cool. All right, that was okay. Good, good. Now let me give you a response after I thought about it, after I gained my clarification. Prodigal son for sure. Got to strengthen that brain, man. Got to read things that we uncomfortable reading. Kuma, man, it sends you into different realms of reality, man. When you start doing the knowledge, man, it just sends you in different realms of reality. You know what I'm saying? You understand that knowledge is infinite. Like, that's what knowledge is, infinite. Point blank, period. You can read a book a day from today until the time that you die, and you probably will not have consumed 1% of all there is to know out here. Like, knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is infinite, man. 100%. It is a lot. It is a lot out here. It's a lot out here to learn. It's a lot out here that we don't know how to explain or understand. It's things to be figured out. Like, knowledge is infinite, man. That's all I got for you. Knowledge is infinite. That's why I'm always striving to learn. That's why I don't understand how you could be a grown man or woman talking about you are bored. Well, all there is to learn out here, there is no way that you could be bored. It don't even make any sense. It's always something to learn. It's always a new book to read. It's always something you can research on these so-called smartphones. You should never be talking about you bored as an adult. Don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. It's all type of stuff out here that you can learn that you don't know anything about. Learn about them. Learn about them. Cool, man. I mean, I learned from both. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I learned from both. A lot of the stuff you learn from meditation results from the things that you have encountered in life. So again, like that book knowledge, that is going to manifest as a sign or a symbol or something when you meditate. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, like I said, it's all connected. So it ain't that you learning, you got to look at it. It ain't that you learning as much from a book. Like, it's all the same. When you reading that book, that's meditation. So reading a book and meditation are one and the same. They are not different. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't that you learning as much from meditation as you do from a book. It's all meditation. It's all meditation. When you reading that book, that's meditation. You getting lost in them pages. You meditating. That's meditation. So when you learning from a book, that's also you learning from meditation. When you learn from meditation, that's also you learning from a book of life, which is the book of self. Like, that's the book. That's the book that you have written based off of your life experiences. You know what I'm saying? So it's all one and the same at the end of the day. You know? Jason, yeah, Layla Africa. R.I.P. to the great ancestor and elder Layla Africa. Most definitely was a brilliant man. Dominique, I'm telling you, there's no reason to be bored out here. Oh yeah, Marlon, man, I'm telling you, man, I just started, you know what I'm saying, incorporating that. I don't got the wall joint, but I just got a calendar and I'm just trying to structure my life better, man. And a calendar is something like a planner. That's why I got a planner and just trying to utilize that more. Antoinette Peach Queen, what's happening? Prodigal son. Oh yeah, aluminum, mercury, and all of that, man. Yeah, aluminum, mercury, and all of that can result. I mean, not result, but can cause Alzheimer's. And just eating a lot of processed foods, man. A lot of that, man, it damages the brain. Y'all know what alcohol does, damages the brain cells. So all of that can cause Alzheimer's and lead to dementia and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? All of that. all of that, but definitely aluminum, definitely the mercury, things like that. That can cause all type of problems with the brain and with the mind. And then two deficiencies, like if you have a B12 deficiency, like if you're not getting enough vitamin B12, that can cause dementia and Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying? Omega 3s, like things that feed the brain, supply energy to the brain. Got to make sure you consuming those nutrients. If you are deficient in those, that can make you more susceptible to Alzheimer's and dementia. Vitamin B12 is definitely something that's linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. So it can be a deficiency or it can be an excess. Something like aluminum and mercury, too much of it, that's an excess, and that can cause the Alzheimer's and disease. And then a deficiency can cause the same thing: B12 deficiency, omega-3 deficiency. Like these things can cause the same type of issues that the aluminum and mercury can cause. So make sure you're getting those vitamins and minerals in, and vitamins and minerals in, and dealing with balance. Yeah, DJ Elmo. A lot of people can't spend that time with themselves, man. Like I said, that boredom thing, man. I'm too, like I said, man. Listen. I'm too old to be talking about I'm bored. I'm too old, man. They better read a book, watch a documentary or something. Too old to be talking about I'm bored. It doesn't make any sense. That's something that a kid says, like I'm bored. Like children say that. Children say that. That is something that a child says. Hey, I'm bored. Like we grown, man. We grown. Go to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like work on something. Work on yourself. Work on your, like, whatever your skill is, like whatever your trade is, whatever your career fit. Work on being better in that. Like, come on. It's always something to do. See, Dean, there you go. Get that. Okay, that vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? All that, charging up the melanin, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to do. DJ Elmo for sure. Exactly. That's that omega-3. And a lot of people get deficient in these joints, not getting enough of it, or the omega-3, omega-6 ratio is out of whack. And that leads to the dementia and Alzheimer's and things along those lines. Yeah, Dominique, you know what I'm saying? Work overtime, pick up some more hours, get another job, whatever it is you want to do that. Something. But I'm not you 30 plus years old talking about you bored. And then you just scrolling on social media talking about you bored. Like, come on, man. Percy, always, man. Always something to do. Literally. There's always something to do. Yeah, there's literally always something to do, man. I got, like I said, man, I got a million books that I have yet to read. So I won't be bored for the rest of my life because I always got something that I could be reading. So boredom is done. Like it's impossible for me to be bored for the rest of my life. I got too many books that I gotta read. I got enough books right now that I need to read just on hand right now. I got enough books that I need to read that'll last me at least 10 years. So then by the time I bust those books down, then I'm gonna probably have another 10 years worth of books lined up to read. So just off of reading alone, I won't be bored. That's just reading. There's plenty of other things to do, but that's just the reading aspect of life. So I won't be bored in that regards because I'm always have something to read. And that's just that. Plenty of other things to do out here though. But y'all, with that being said, man, it's approaching that 3 o'clock mark on my end, man. So y'all know what time it is. I gotta wind it down, make my move up to this gym. Got a few clients and whatnot this evening. So y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in for this particular stream. I had to do the part 2 of what I did yesterday. I feel like I got some good things off of my chest. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna allow y'all to enjoy Wednesday evening. I may tap in with y'all tomorrow. Who knows? Depends on how I'm feeling. But I got a book that I got to finish up right now. So I'm going to try to finish up reading this book. Once I finish it up, I may jump on this joint and build on it. But I don't know if I build on it, I may get another strike. So who knows? But I'm going to try to finish up this book. And then when I finish up this book, I may jump on and stream. You know, so I might need a day or two to finish the book up. But I appreciate all y'all tapping in with the kid, man. I appreciate the vibes. As always, peace. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Wednesday. And if I don't tap in with y'all tomorrow, y'all enjoy your Thursday. But I'm out, y'all. Peace.